Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Viredu, coach of the Atacama Tyranitars, and today we're doing something different. I actually subbed in for someone who dropped at PWC, and I got to make a team. So I won't be mentioning too much detail of this team. All I'm going to say is that the rules ask me to draft a low tier mon, which is in this case my Hisuian Electrode. And this is going to be my only Terra captain. It's free Terra this season, so I can bring whatever type I want, but I always have to bring my Terra captain to the battle. So this week, this is week 4, my team is currently 0-3, and I wanted to see if I could take it to playoff. Only after 7, it's only 7 matches, so it's pretty difficult to make it. I would have to win out, and I'm doing this just for fun, just to try new set, just to try new mons and see what works and what not. So I am facing this week Moon, coach of Better Call Spoink, and his captain is Hisuian Bravery. So with that said, I'm doing this as post-com because I played this battle really early and I didn't want to wake up my wife. So let's see how we do here. So my decided lead for this week was my Aesop with Focus Sash, and I figured he would lead with Sneasler, but anyways I just said fuck it, I'm going to start clock and see how to proceed from here. So I just do this, expecting this U-turn, which did a lot of damage, but I had the Focus Sash, so it didn't matter that much. And let's see, how can I prep this? Okay, so that should look better for you all. So he U-turns out and breaks the Hisuian Bravery. So I just set my Stealth Rock, and to be honest, I don't know the movesets of all these mons. I don't know what they can learn and what not. I figured this could learn Defog, so I was thinking about taunting here. That would be an option if you try to go Defog. But I think I said to myself, at this point I'm too low. This guy is probably going to want to kill me. So I just pivoted out and U-turned. Also to scout how much that did. So that did quite a bit, a good chunk. So I was fully expecting him to tear this thing this turn, and I didn't know what type he could bring, so yeah, I think I go into my Assault Vest Hisuian Samurai, expecting to not take damage but Psychic attack, but he just goes for the defog. So, well, I said to myself, fuck, this is no good. I'm just going to take this time to knock this thing off. It's probably going to be running the heavy duty boots here. But he goes for a Terra. And what type does he Terra into? I can't remember. I think it was, yeah, Fairy. So he can hit me with a Dazzling Glimp, I think, or a Terra Blast. And that would hurt, but probably won't kill me, because I'm Assault Vest. So I'm faster than him, and I go just straight for the knockup to knock his heavy duty boots. So he goes for the Dazzling Glimp. And I was expecting it to do way less damage, but it did a chunk. So I said, well, I was just scouting to see if my Razor Shell was able to take it out. And I think it did something like 50 to 59%, which I figured was in that range, to be honest. So I just clicked the Razor Shell and planning to get rid of this stupid thing, which defogged my rocks. And I missed. To be honest, I didn't know Razor Shell could even miss. So, well, that's pretty bad. So this thing is back at full after that boost, and that put me in a pretty awkward situation. So the Dazzling Gleam here was pretty obvious too. And I think honestly my only switch into this thing is go into Happy Plug, the Golden Go, the Scarfed Golden Go, and try to see if I can withstand that Dazzling Gleam comfortably. So I make this switch here. And as expected, he goes for the Dazzling Gleam. And that thing does a lot of damage. I wasn't expecting it to do this much, to be honest. But well, now I had a pretty good opportunity to just click Make It Rain or Shadow Ball or Spam something. The only good switch in against Make It Rain, I guess, is Rotom Wash, which he obviously goes into. So I click the Make It Rain and this thing does nothing. So immediately I figured out this thing was a Soft Vest and was probably going to be carrying the Shadow Ball if that was the case. Because Rotom Wash doesn't get much coverage, and Shadow Ball is one of the only forms of coverage it gets, so I had to run out of there. I couldn't do any damage to it, and he was going to strike back with a powerful Shadow Ball. So just to be safe, I didn't know if that was the case. I just switched into my Electrode just to be able to tank Ice Bomb, Thunderbolt, and I figured Shadow Ball wouldn't do much either. Okay, so I took the Shadow Ball and got a special defense prop, and I figured, okay, let's leave turn here. I think his only switch to this was actually the Sneasler, if I remember correctly. So leave turn was fairly free. It was definitely going to do a chunk to that Rotom Wash. So he switches out and brings in his Bravery, and I just go straight ahead for the Leaf Blade, the Leaf Storm, and figuring another Leaf Storm would actually KO this thing. I was trying to cut this, and I think it did something like 35 to 42 or something like that. And I figured, well, that's in the range. Let's try that again. Another thing I was thinking about was maybe going to Rotom and just try to tank another Dazzling Gleam, but that thing was doing more damage than I expected it to do, so it didn't seem like a good idea. And my Assault Vest mod was unable to tank another one of those, so I click Leaf Storm here, and I miss again. Another 90 plus accuracy move. So well, what can you do? That's the game we play. My opponent apologized for it during the battle, but I don't mind, man. I'm going to get my fairly bit of luck in another game, so maybe in this one. So that's all good. That's all good. I remember I was trying to see what was Razor Shell's accuracy there. I was a bit frustrated, but there's no point in venting off against my opponent. He doesn't have, he's not faulty for that. It's just a game we play. So now I was confident in going into the Golden Go, the Happy Plug, and just click. He goes for the U-turn. That's. I can't remember what he brought in here. Most likely the Rotom here. He was really in the tank. If I were him, I would just bring the Rotom in and just Volt Switch away, expecting me to switch. My play was always going to... Oh, he brought in the Tinglu, so obviously I wouldn't do anything to this thing, even with a Focus Blast, so I needed to switch out. And my defensive, physically defensive mon this week was the Donphan. So that's the only thing that was able to take an Earthquake or a Dark Attack. If I brought in my Aesop, it would not take a Dark Attack really well and probably would get KO'd. So I just went into my Donphan, and this thing goes for a throat chop, and it does a lot of damage. So that told me right there that this thing was banded or some form of pensive Team Glue. Okay, so it was fairly obvious he was going to switch out here, so I just went for another knockup. He was probably expecting an Earthquake here because I remember he went into his Rotom Wash, and we knocked off the Assault Vest of that freaking washing machine. So that's cool. That gave me a good way to damage it with either the Tubbyson, the Electrode, or the Happy Plug, Golden Go. And I just went into Electrode, figuring it wouldn't take much damage from anything he wanted to throw at me. So his moveset probably was Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hydro Bomb, and Shadow Ball. I brought in the Tubbyson, expecting a Shadow Ball here, and he just go for the Volt Switch, which doesn't do much damage. Really good play on his part, to be honest, expecting the switch into Electrode, but I was in the position to do the same here. I was honestly able to Volt Switch out of anything he brought in, except for Scarf Moons, which at this point I didn't see anything that could be a Scarf except for the Snizzler. So he brings in the Klefki. I was expecting him to just go for Light Screen and Reflect now. So I can't remember what I did here. Did I just click Thunderbolt? Because I think my best play was honestly Volt Switch, yeah. What did I... yeah. I could have Volt Switch into anything, really. I did Volt Switch. Probably expecting not to do much damage with the Thunderbolt. But after the Light Screen, but as you saw there, he didn't bring Light Screen, so he was not Prankster. So I thought maybe he wants to attack me. So if he wanted to attack me, that would be with a Dazzling Gleam. So I should go probably to the Golden Go. Evil Plug was not going to take another Dazzling Gleam from anything, to be honest. That was my initial street in. But after I thought he wasn't going for a Prankster move, I just went into Happy Plug. And as you see, he goes for a Trick Room, which got me really off guard. Tim was actually not that slow. King Glue is slow, so is Bravery, but I don't know. I never expected this thing, to be honest. So how could I do the more damage here? His switch in was the Rotom Wash, but so I go for a Focus Blast, expecting. It was a middle ground play there. If I clicked Shadow Ball, this thing would have done nothing, to be honest. And I clicked the Focus Blast. I landed and I get a critical hit, so a bit of luck came back my way there. So this thing was pretty scary. Was obviously going to outspeed my Golden Go. Was going to outspeed my Golden Go after Trick Room, so I went into my Donphan just to be able to tank that hit. And sadly, I was not running Ice Shard this week. Otherwise, that would have KO'd the Team Glue cleanly. And so at this point I needed to sack something. I wasn't sure what was Team Glue's speed, but I think it's 45 base speed, so it obviously outsped me under Trick Room there. So Trick Room there claims 1 kill, and this freaking offensive Team Blue was wreaking havoc among my team. So my only bet here was going for an Accelerock. It was obviously going to kill because I think he was at 1 HP or something, and Accelerock obviously kills. So the bad thing about this though, it's now I'm locked into Accelerock and he can bring anyone he wants, to be honest. The Sneasler is going to be pretty good here because Accelerock is not very effective against it. The Klefki could actually set again the Trick Room or Reflect and the screens, the light screen. So, well, that sucks. To be honest, at that point I should have blocked my ace off. I should have noticed this thing was banded, but I didn't. I thought it was only offensive. So ace off actually could levitate and tank that earthquake pretty well. I mean, be immune to it actually, and just fire back a U-turn. But well, I didn't, and I put myself in this horrible situation in which I had to switch out of a Sneasler. So at this point I was thinking, well, he should possibly be unburdened. And what are the common ways to trigger unburden on a Sneasler? Are actually normal gem, fake out, and close combat white herb. So I went into my Golden Go in order to actually be immune to those moves. But now that I think of it, Unburden Sneasler usually doesn't carry U-turn. So that should have told me that this thing wasn't unburdened. So I just went for the Golden Go here, and I wasn't confident I was gonna be able to knock out this Rotom. It was still pretty defensive, and he could hit back with a Shadow Ball, probably knocking me out. So again, what's my best play here? Probably go into my Hisuian Electrode again. That I did, expecting him to Volt Switch away again. And he does. So the good thing about Electrode is that it's pretty fast. I'm actually running modest choice specs, so I can hit anything for really good damage. Okay, so he went into his Klefki. I wasn't sure what this thing was going to do. If he set down a Trick Room, that could be actually really dangerous, but he just goes for a Spike and I Thunderbolt, taking this out. So again, I'm locked into Thunderbolt and he has free reign to go into anything really. He just switches in Criteria, which is his Haxorus, and at this point I'm expecting him to Dragon Dance and strip me. I was contemplating my options. Happy Block was not faster than Haxorus after a Dragon Dance, and I could have switched into Alien Block expecting an Earthquake here, but it was fairly certain that my Thunderbolt was not going to kill him. At this point I think he knew I was Specs, and well, I said, well, I need to chip this thing or otherwise that thing is going to strip me. My only hope was that this did a lot of damage, which I calculated, and I think it did more than 50%, and then go into Lycanroc in order to Accelerock hit and try to kill him with the Choice Band Accelerator. So I just go for the Thunderbolt. It doesn't do more than half, but I'm getting lucky again, so I get the Paralyze here. And well, luck goes and luck comes, I think. So I had 2 clutch misses at the beginning of the game, and then I was rewarded with a critical hit on Team Blue and the Paralyze on this hack through. So again, I just need to chip this mon in order to kill it, or otherwise this thing is going to sweep me. So I just hit Thunderbolt again, expecting him to take me out with an Earthquake or something. Earthquake was honestly not so good of a play. So he goes for a Dragon Claw because it was fairly free. I mean, it was honestly really free against my team. The only thing that could have possibly taken that was Golden Go, but I didn't want it to take it because he was clearly bringing Earthquake after that. So I said, okay, now I'm in a tough spot. I can revenge this thing with pretty much anything I want because it's paralyzed. And I figured, well, let's try to bring this Alien Plug. He's obviously not faster than me. And at this point, I think I should have just tried to go for the U-turn or calculate how much this U-turn did in order to get myself into a position where I'm with a healthy amount on the battlefield. So I don't think I played this game particularly well, looking it back, because, well, I don't want to take away anything from my opponent, but this was 7 AM for me. I actually proposed the time, and I had just waken up, so I wasn't thinking really straight. He goes back into his Sneasler, and at this point I don't have anything that can take a Dire Claw except for, well, Golden Go and actually Lycanroc can take a Dire Claw, but I was fairly certain he was going to be bringing some kind of form of coverage in order to deal with those things. Lycanroc wasn't really an option because he could close combat and kill me there. So I just let this thing die in order to have a clean switch into my Golden Go. So now I could actually make it rain and kill this thing or go for a Shadow Ball, which was really free against him. So at this point I think he has Rotom. I can't remember which ones of his are alive. So I just decided to go for a Make It Rain, and at this point I realized I'm his choice card, so that finished me off. There's no way I could have done anything against him. So I go into my Lycanroc, expecting to, I don't know, chip it. Honestly, he couldn't do much with his Night Slash, so I just hit Stone Edge in order to hit whatever comes in really hard. But at this point I knew he just could switch out and come back and just close combat both my mons, and I couldn't do really anything against it. I think that big poke at the beginning was really clutch, because if that wouldn't have happened, maybe Sneasler would have taken more chip and at the end of the day was in range of Accelerac. I don't know how much that does, but he came in and U-turned a couple of times, so that's some tip there. And well, as I mentioned, he brings in the Sneasler here, and I just lose all my faith in this battle. So he close combats my Lycanroc, and he can close combat again my Hisuian Soundwave. So with that being said, I want to say something about this league. I'm not going to be taking it like really seriously. I'm not going to prep with all my energy against it for it, because I was 0-3 when I picked up the team, And at this point, there's no way I'm going to be making it to playoffs. But I think it's going to be a great opportunity to try new mons that I haven't tried before, and try new sets too. So, and woggy sets. Maybe I can bring something fun for you in my next battle. So, well, Moonabloom, it was a really good game. We both had our fair share of hacks there, but anyways, really great game, man. I hope you make it to playoffs and you do well there. So he told me it was his first Wi-Fi league, so that's really fun. So, well, thank you all guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and do a comment in this video telling me what you thought of it and how I can keep improving. Thank you.